Hey there, traders. Christian Fromhertz, Tribeca Trade Group with your end of day recap for Tuesday. And what a day! Another big day of momentum to the upside here. So, SPYs finished up 58 basis points. Qs finished up 72 basis points, and small caps outperformed again, up 1%. Emerging markets were up 90 basis points as well. Transports actually finished down now that I'm looking at it. So there's a little bit of weakness in transports today, but really another risk on day today. Market breadth was strong today. We've got that indicator down here. Pretty much stayed consistent all day long today. I'm just going to take this indicator out of here because you don't need this anymore now that we've used that all day today to trade. Um, but we are hitting a little bit of resistance up here with SPY. We are through an S&P futures through the top of value, the April value area that's 2381. So I wouldn't be surprised if we pause a little bit tomorrow. I'm not trying to really make a market prediction, but we've had some really nice healthy gains the last 2 days. We've got a little bit of resistance here, and then we've also got the earnings so far have been great. I think anyway. A lot of the leaders that have come out so far have been pretty strong, and there's been a lot of beats in earnings, and we saw that after the close today. There's been a couple dings after the close today. U.S. Steel down, and iron ore has continued to move down too. So that really doesn't surprise me in that group. But that's just one area of the market. We see a lot of strength in other places. So besides looking at S&P, always good to kind of start there, but it's definitely not the whole picture. Nasdaq, I mean, full out break. This is a different looking picture. All along the last couple months, Nasdaq has been the stronger index, and wasn't even close to really breaking down. Maybe it touched the 50-day moving average when we were a little bit weak a couple weeks ago, and then catapulted off of there. So you go back to the S&P and you're like, oh, okay, well maybe we'll pause there. Just the Nasdaq is in absolute beast mode. The other thing that's also has been very encouraging is small caps. Small caps, or if you look at TF, which is they're going to show different types of candles. But take it for what it is. I think a new high. I guess not in small cap futures, but I think in IWM. There you go. You got a high. You do have an interesting looking candle, depending if you look at small caps or if you look at small cap futures. So it could be that we kind of, that we pause a little bit here in front of some big earnings. Keep in mind on Thursday, when you look at who reports on Thursday, usually I thought, I could be wrong, but I thought they staggered these companies within a day. But we're going to have all on Thursday. I'm not sure. I have to check, but I think Intel reports pre-market. If I'm wrong, I apologize. But you've got Microsoft, you've got Amazon, and you've got Google all reporting on. Again, if I'm wrong, I apologize. But I believe everything reports. These guys, Microsoft, Amazon, and Google all report Thursday after the close. Let me just double check. Is because I feel like I'm doubting myself all of a sudden here. Amazon. That should be as well the 27th. Yeah, so everything. So when you look at all these names reporting on Thursday, and they've all run, huge day for some of these names. Look at Google, like Google, Microsoft. They're all breaking out. The only one that looks like, a little bit that has not followed that move. Amazon got a small downgrade, I think, today. So Amazon broke out, a couple weeks ago and has been just digesting that move. So the only one that's kind of just resting a bit the last couple of weeks has been Amazon. The rest look like they've already been making the earnings moves that you would normally see. Like if there was a strong earnings report, they're making that before that. So when you add up how much of the Nasdaq reports in one day, it's 30. It's close to 30%. It's about 29-30% of the Qs report in one day. So, I will be taking more profits in things if we continue to rally tomorrow. I've been moving a lot to cash and really haven't. I've been adding a couple choice positions the last couple days. I actually took an eBay trade this morning. There was just a huge amount of option activity today, which is typically what we see when the market rallies. You see all the momentum dudes come out and start to look for a big move. So we'll go through some of the option activity because there was certainly a lot of it. But I liked that it's been a few days after eBay had a pretty bad report. So I was looking for something that was kind of was going to move from the low. So I took 3/4 of this trade off today for profit. So just like that, I put on a nice trade. There was a really nice call buyer in PPG today. This is a name that I've played before and has worked for me. If you look at the size of the trade, they bought those for 440. And again, if you look at the premium here, it's a $1 million trade. So I didn't want the at the money calls in PPG. They're a little bit too expensive. So what I did was I made that into a 115, 120 call spread for a little bit over $1. And I think that's just better risk to return in terms of that if PPG wants to still go higher. So we could look at a chart of PPG, and if you look at a 5-year chart, you can kind of see that we're on the verge of breaking out. You've got some resistance up here, but I think it's worth a shot considering that that was a pretty big chip that somebody put down. So going back to the rest of today's, you could see I could barely fit this on one page today. Um, a lot of good trades in the morning. FCX after the open, that was a day trade as well. Made some money on that one. BAC, I'm out of all BAC. Huge winner. I put a BAC trade on towards the end of last week for about 20 cents. Hit a target up to 70 cents. So I just decided I also had a limited risk reversal in Apple, meaning I went long calls and I sold a put spread. Another huge winner. I took that trade off because it was just a weekly trade. It does expire. I was looking for a move all throughout the week, but I could get back into Apple really easily. So I just wanted to take some risk off today. Netflix, what a huge move. I did not play Netflix today. I was just busy trading. There were so many other things going on. But if you caught Netflix, congratulations. What a move. This and Baidu just took off once there was a story that was announced this morning about how they're going to be working together. And man, these things took off. What a great day trade if you caught these two. I like Baidu as well as a swing. I had a chart earlier. I don't know if I still have it. I'll have to just take a look here. Let me see if I can find it quickly. Yep, here we go. So I like what this chart in Baidu. This is a multi-year chart. This is like a 5-year chart in Baidu, and you can see how it's just starting to break out. It's been moving sideways in this kind of big wedge. I mean, you're talking about a couple year wedge in Baidu, and it looks like it's finally breaking to the upside. So on a monster day on really good volume. So I think there could be some nice continuation there. There was, I could spend 15 minutes going through all these trades today. We do this in the Tribeca trade room. We go through these and decide whether or not we're going to take them in real time. So we talked about eBay. We talked about PPG. ILG, which continues to see call buying. We went through the analysis of this one earlier, so I'm not going to do it again. We saw a little bit of Win call buying, THO call buying. Then on the ETF side, some really interesting trades that went up today. Right in the beginning of the day, a really aggressive calls were bought in the XBI ETF. Those were the May 70, 71 and a half. So this is another area that interests me. It's kind of been stuck for a little while. If you look at XBI, we could do this on the Bloomberg chart. It hasn't really taken out the highs yet. It's, every time this thing looks like it wants to break out, it gets a little bit higher and then kind of pauses. Let me see if I can bring up a multi-year chart in this. 3-year chart. So it's still, is above all these moving averages. It's just a little bit of a difficult trade, I would say, considering that if you play this with options, it's not they're not cheap. So possibly playing a longer type play in XBI is probably the right way to go about it, because as you can see, if you go back to the 1-year chart, it's a lot of chop. So the price has gotten over the 200-day moving average. It's touched it here a couple times. So maybe this is the time that it gets going. It's just above the 50-day moving average. So nice move higher here. And I don't have anything on in this space, but maybe I look at a call spread. I think that would be the right way to do it. Maybe play it a couple months out. A couple other trades. EFA, a lot of calls being bought in EFA. I refer to EFA as, well, first of all, what is, I'll give you the exactly what it is, and then I'll give you what I call it. But EFA is international developed markets. So it's basically a lot of Europe and a lot of Japan. This is an ETF that's seen just a lot of buying in cash, and we've seen that in ETF inflows. I call this ETF the European and the Japanese SPY. Basically, it's very much like that. It's your big blue chips that are in there, but they're European based and they're Japanese based. So I do also have a chart on this one, if I can find that. But here you go. So this is something that's not new in terms of investment that's been going on. This has been going on for the last few months. So I did not take this particular trade. I'm still long Europe through Fez, but you could see that we're going to be hitting resistance very soon in EFA. And again, the fact that someone put on a trade 40,000 contracts going just out for a couple weeks, they're probably looking for a little bit more momentum to the upside. These were swept both 19,000 apiece, and it does appear that they were bought. So that's fine. That's 64 and a half. That's another $0.50 up. Maybe somebody's looking for the this resistance to be taken out here, but this is a very mature play. I've been talking about this ETF and VEA, which is the exact, basically holds the exact same basket. And I've been talking about that for months, because if you look at VEA and the